Hope I got a good connection here. Good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Fuller. I'm also known as the Silver Money Dude. This is another Facebook archive for the FreeWorldOrder. I have a good subject for today. And very soon we're going to be actually doing Facebook Lives in real time. I mean, this is real time now, but I'm actually just archiving and recording the video. I'm not promoting the Facebook Live as of yet, but I will be. The Facebook Live and the podcast will simultaneously be promoted. What we're going to do is we want to open up a dialogue between the content, the questions, the subject matter that we're focusing on the Free World Order, and you guys, the audience, those of you that are tuned in, those of you that support us and believe in the concept of a resource-based economy instead of the bullshit that we have right now in the current paradigm and in the current system that we're all using. Today I want to talk about, and it's some good coffee. I haven't had coffee this good in quite a while. Very well prepared. Thank you, McDonald's. I want to talk about prison. I've come across some interesting information regarding the prison population and the cost of prison to taxpayers in the United States in particular. Now, the average nationwide for the average cost, I should say, to feed, clothe, and basically take care of inmates when they're in prison is somewhere in the range of $35,000 to $38,000 a year. I believe this is as of 2016, was the statistic that I saw. In New York, in particular, the number was crazy. It was something like $160,000 a year that it costs just to pay for each individual inmate or each individual person that is in prison. So what this is showing is that it would cost less money to give people what they needed for free. Now, the Free World Order advocates resource-based system. A resource-based system, a resource-based economy. One that is not based on utilizing or using money at all. It's not based on a monetary system. What it's based on is intelligently managing the resources of our planet and using that in conjunction with technology, high science, and engineering to automate most of the jobs today that people have that we don't need to do anymore. There's certain things that can be automated. And if those things are automated, what it does is increase productivity. It doesn't lower it. People are afraid of machines and the computers and technology, but we don't need to be afraid of it. We need to embrace it because it's going to make everyone's life easier. Now, when the monetary system begins to fail in a major way to the point where people are like, well, what the hell is going on? I mean, we've been talking about the monetary system failing just on my Silver Money channel by itself for years, for a few years, since 2013. I've actually had the content up on YouTube and stuff. And the information is out there, regarding the way that the monetary system doesn't work, what it is and what they use to keep it going. Fractional reserve banking, borrowing basically from the Federal Reserve through U.S. Treasury bonds. Every time they need money in the government, the federal government, they issue bonds. Those bonds are loans, but they're issuing bonds to actually create money. So that means that money is actually debt. It's owed to the Federal Reserve System, which is not backed by anything. So that's a whole separate video altogether. Let me stay focused on what I'm talking about with prison. Prison alone, the cost of prison to taxpayers, the cost of prison to you. If you have a job and you pay your taxes, this is how much it's costing you as a taxpayer. You're paying into this. In New York alone, $160,000 a year. The average nationwide is $35,000 to $38,000 a year that it costs to pay for people being in prison. Wouldn't it be easier and smarter and more cost effective to just give people things for free? Like, I don't see why that logic is not explored more, because we're just talking about one aspect of society and one aspect of the system. We're talking about how much it costs to keep people in prison. It costs a lot of money every year. The same money that you're paying to keep someone in prison, you could have just gave them everything that they needed to function in society. What do people need? A place to stay, food to eat that is healthy, clean water, clothes. What else do people need as far as the essentials and the necessities of life? That's just on the basic level. So with that being the case, it's once again proof that the system is not beneficial for the majority at all by any means. So the direction that we're moving in the free world order, we're moving towards the resource-based economy, resource-based system, one that does not use money at all. It's a moneyless society. And we're using technology to automate the things that we want and we need to produce for ourselves as people, as human beings. See, this current system, basically, large corporations that are controlled by a small group of people that you all consider to be smart, just like politicians. Y'all think that we're living in a democracy. It's not a democracy, it's a dictatorship, because everything that you do when you go to a job, your boss is your dictator. Whatever your boss tells you to do and gives you instruction on is what you do. That's not a democracy at all. If you're a taxpayer and you vote, what have you voted for other than someone getting into office? And who selected the person going into office? Was it you? Or were they already pre-selected and then you choose from the options given to you? It's so much that people are not aware of. They're not educated. Free world order is so important. This information that, we're spitting out on these videos is very, very necessary information just for you all to not be dumbed down every day. Every day that you turn on your television or on your radio, you're watching nonsense and you're being fed a certain piece of information in a certain way. Over and over again. They have programmed you to look at society a certain way, to think that certain things are necessary. You think that you need money for everything. When in essence, we don't need money for anything because we live on the planet Earth. And the planet is providing us with everything that we're using. People are discovering new ways and new approaches to the same things that we've been doing the whole time. That's what technology is. That's what evolution is. It's the same ideas evolving into something better. It's not different ideas. It's the same ideas. We're just doing it better. And that comes from human thinking. So in other words, somebody created or had an idea. I'm not going to say created because you don't create ideas. Ideas are everywhere around us at all times. We pull into our brain and into our mind ideas from around us by looking at what is around us. Your environment shapes and molds the way that you think. So when you see something, when you're looking out, you might see how something can work better. You might see how a problem can be solved. And when you look at what the problem is and you start to work on it with your brain, eventually you have enough people working on that one problem. We're going to solve that problem because that's what we do as human beings. When we use our brain on a problem, we work it out and we figure it out and we solve it. That's what technicians do. That's what scientists are doing. That's what engineers do. Just think about what scientists do. How do they know certain things about nature? They study. What does study mean? They look, they observe, they watch. So they're not creating anything. They're observing what already exists. And then they figure shit out from that point alone by just watching, by looking at what a problem is presenting. All right, how can we solve that problem so that that doesn't do that? We want that to produce this so that we can benefit from it, so that there's value in it for us. You see what I'm saying? This is what human beings will be doing in a resource-based system. Thinking, using our brain, being taught in a format and in a way where it's not restricting the way that we think and the way that we create and the way that we solve problems. It's not restricting it. It's opening it up. It's freeing us. You can't be free in this system right now. How are you going to be free when you're worrying about paying your bills? How are you going to be free when you're worrying about feeding your children? Every worry that you have is financially related. It's the monetary system holding us back. I'm telling you guys, listen. You really have to really wake up, snap out of it, because this is a shame the way that it's really playing itself out at this point. Just like I had talked about this in a previous video, we still using oil as fuel. Oh, well, we got to use oil because, you got to put gas in your car. The car is made to use gas, stupid. It doesn't have to be, though. The energy that's around us, we have solar, wind, wave energy, which is the waves underneath the ocean. We have geothermal. That's the heat coming from volcanoes. There's one volcano in Hawaii that can power the entire planet for millions of years. And we can tap into that one volcano, produce energy for the whole planet for millions of years, or for one volcano. And there's more than 500 different sources of geothermal energy on the planet that can be tapped into. That's one. So you telling me that we can't figure out how to not use oil? Every time that we turn the car on, it produces exhaust. That exhaust has pollution in it. It has contaminants in it. Where those contaminants go? They go into the air. They go into our water. And then you wonder why people are getting sick so young. We're polluting the air. We're polluting the water. All of these different cancers, all of these different diseases. And then they don't fix the actual disease that you have. What do? They give you drugs for it so that they can make more profit off of the situation. The system is crazy, man. It's crazy when you think about it. And that's what I want to do with this platform, is to give you shit to think about every day. The more you start thinking, the less you'll stop cooperating and accepting things the way that they are, because they don't have to be this way. We're going to change this. It's not even the question of if. We are going to change this. The question is, are you going to be part of it, or are you going to sit back and watch? Because if you sit back and watch and you're not a part of the change and the transition, it really makes no sense for you to be stuck in something that you don't have to continue to be in. And that's what's going to happen. People are going to continue to try to operate and function within the current paradigm because that's all they know. All you know is the monetary system. You don't know anything else. But that doesn't mean that that's all that there is. There is an alternative. All of this information, this technology is already here. There's nothing that we have to figure out. Everything that I mentioned to you so far already exists. It's destructive for this system. That's why this system has got to go. And this system is going to go regardless. There's no stopping it, because it's a self-destructive system. It cannot function and operate the way that it was set up from the beginning. First of all, it's not backed by anything. The monetary system isn't backed by anything. They're literally printing money out of thin air. That's where money comes from. Well, where does our money come from? It comes from nothing. Nowhere. They just print it. It's digits that they type into the computer. That's what money is. The money that you use every day. So the value comes from the fact that we use the money in the system to buy shit with. That's what creates the value of money. It's accepted. We readily accept money everywhere. Everybody accepts it. Everybody cooperates with it. That's why money has any value. But you have to realize it's mathematical. So mathematically, that cannot continue to go on, and it cannot continue to exist before it implodes. There's something called hyperinflation. We haven't really seen it yet. We've seen bits of it. But hyperinflation means that the value of the money decreases so fast and the prices of everything go up so quickly that your purchasing power eventually becomes nothing. So you're still getting the same amount of pay at your job, but it doesn't buy the same amount of things in the actual economy that we live in. You see what I'm saying? All of this is going to happen. There's no stopping it. So listen, I don't want to go into that. I wanted to focus on the prison aspect of how much it costs just to pay for someone to be in prison in the U.S. and in New York in particular. It's the highest. It's $160,000 on average for the year, which is insane. $160,000. The average person doesn't even earn half of that. Average person doesn't earn $80,000 a year. $160,000 a year. You're better off giving people things for free. Give them whatever they need for free. Keep them out of jail. Most people are in jail for something monetary related anyway. They were trying to get money for some shit. Most crimes, violent crimes, also are a result of the monetary system. And I'll connect those dots in another video. So, on that note, I'm going to end it there. Mark Fuller, FreeWorldOrder. We need to get rid of money. Give everything to everyone for free. We'll have a better world. We'll function a lot easier in the system that we're in right now if we just did that. So you want more information about the resource-based economy, go to thevenusproject.com. thevenusproject.com. Support us. The links for making a monthly contribution is going to be below this video on Facebook. It'll be in the description box if you're watching this on YouTube. All right? Start with the $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, 25, whatever it is that you're going to get started with. Make sure that you support us, because our goal is to raise $1 billion to build the first resource-based city The first one. Once we build that, it will become the prototype for what can be done and what has to be done, because this system is going to destroy itself and it's going to destroy you along with it if you let it. So don't be part of that shit. Don't be part of it. Wake up, educate yourself. Stop thinking that what they're feeding you on television and in the media is the way that everything works. It's not. It's what they want you to think works. It's what they want you to focus on so that you don't wake the fuck up. Pardon my French. That's what it is. All right, I'm out. Mark Fuller, Free World Order, deuce.